Well, hey guys, I wanted to do something a little bit different for the 1,000 subscribers milestone here for PA Farms, and this video is what I came up with, something a little bit different. I have here some photos from when I used to farm over at the other farm. These pictures are from 2012, and this is my 750 Massey over at the other farm, and we are combining rye. Excuse me. This other farm, this hillside that you're looking at right here is one of the steepest hillsides in the valley around here. It's just the way it rolls around. I did a video on it a while ago. I think it was Dad's Place or something like that, to that effect. So yeah, it was a pretty steep hillside. You can kind of see how the combine is on the hill here. Have to really watch what you're doing. You'll see the cab is to the lower side. Usually on the hill, I would try to keep the bin and the engine to the upper side. Some nice scenery up here. You can see out through the valley. Like I said, this is about the end of the valley here. Anyway, this combine was the first combine that I had that was self-propelled. Before this, I had an International 82 pull-type combine, and it worked pretty good. I did oats with it the one year, I think. The pull-type combine. So yeah, this was the first job as I was rebuilding this machine that I put it to work doing, was the rye harvest here in 2012. I had good luck growing rye and always had a market for it. This rye actually went to a dairy farm that they were using as a cover crop. So yeah, this combine had about 2,200 hours on it when I got it. Had some issues, definitely had some things that really needed to be addressed to be functional. I know it had a massive hydraulic leak, and the dirt and junk underneath the engine was all the way up to the engine oil dipstick. And for those of you guys that understand these Massey combines, you know how high that level of dirt and junk has to get up to that level. Basically all the hydraulic oil was leaking and all the dirt was just sticking to it, and it never got cleaned out. So I had to address the hydraulic leak. Couple other odds and ends here or there, but I basically anything that it needed I did to it. I wanted a pretty reliable machine. On this hillside, I have been pushed down it a couple times. I have been scared a couple times on this hill. I definitely had to be in the mood to hang on a hillside. You're not always in the mood to work on a hill. That's one thing. There's some days that you're not as brave as others. So I used to have a 544 International tractor. It was a gas model. I think I had a 275 New Holland baler when I was baling some of this rye straw. And I'll stop my story here. This is the back of the machine. You can see how dented up it was on the back end. It was from hitting into stuff, I guess, the previous owner. You'll notice those shields on the side that hang down. Those are on to help windrow the straw for baling it. You'll see the spinners are off. I did have the spinners and the belt to go on, and I did put them on when I started the corn harvest. You take those side deflectors off for corn and then let the spinners spin freely. You'll notice the international weights that are on the back. With the corn head on, you needed a pack of weights to counterbalance this machine. It was front heavy with the 6-row corn head. But anyway, my story, I had a bale of straw, New Holland 275 baler. I took the wagon off, and I always like to turn up the hill. When you get to the end, you either have to go up or down. I like to go up, just because there's less of a chance. Yeah, you can spin out, but at least you're you're not gonna go skiing down. You're pointed in the other direction. But for whatever reason, I decided to go down this time, and the tire just caught a little bit of straw and pushed me down pretty far. The baler came right around into the tire, and it was actually the baler that saved me from going all the way down the hill or rolling it. I was hopping sideways down the hill, and it wasn't until the baler tongue got wedged under the tire that I finally was able to get control of it. But some of the things you learn, some things can't be avoided. It's just how it is on hills sometimes. I could have used a bigger tractor, but that's all I could afford at the time. So yeah, here's some more of the scenery here of farming in the mountains of Pennsylvania. You can see the nice corn in the background there. The rye did pretty well. It gave a lot of straw. It's a real rocky field again, so I didn't have the head down very far. I never had a flex head with this machine. I was trying to get one at an auction one time. I think this is a 13-foot rigid head, but it was in pretty nice shape. And this picture, I really like this one. You can take notice of the black smoke coming out of this machine, like you see on most Massey combines with these Perkins engines. There's always kind of like a train when it's when it's at work. So yeah, that's a pretty neat picture here. So yeah, this is the rye harvest from 2012, and my first time out in my own self-propelled combine. So you really felt like you're on top of the world at that time. So we got that taken care of. The next picture here, this is the winter scene of the farm, and if you take notice to the barn there on the right, you can see how I got the combine out of the weather. I didn't have much of a machine shed over there. The front wheels are actually outside on a pad, a concrete pad, but the engine, the bin, the only thing that was sticking outside was the feeder house. So that's kind of how I tried to get it out of the weather there. The building all the way to the left is a chicken house. I built that, I think, in 2009 or 10. I built that from scratch with the corn crib on the side. Redid the barn doors, put a new roof on that barn. A lot of work on that building over there. And of course the combine is out of the weather. Here's kind of the finished result of the rye. Didn't do too bad cleaning it. I was pretty impressed. There wasn't much junk in it, a little bit of weed seeds here or there. I didn't spray this rye. This was grown. It was that thick. The weeds didn't really stand a chance. It's on the back of my International Lodestar truck here. Here's my 8N Ford. You guys probably heard me say many times that my first loader tractor was an 8N Ford. This was a handy little tractor for the farm. Wasn't doing a whole lot of loader work. Here I'm putting some stone down on the driveway. I had this little bucket. I had manure forks for it. You had to weight it down. The loader actually would lift pretty heavy. If you were lifting off to the side, you could actually pick up the rear end of this little tractor, even with the wheel weights, calcium, tire chains, and the barrel on the back. I just used the barrel and just filled it with rocks and bricks and stuff. So yeah, that was a good little tractor. Needed to be overhauled. That's why I got rid of it. I didn't feel like dealing with it. This picture here, you can see a lot going on. I posted this on Instagram. That hay wagon is a New Holland. It was a drying wagon. I built the racks for that wagon. You can see my Massey Ferguson 50 tractor that I had at one time, and my Lodestar grain truck. I think that's a 1978 International Lodestar. I ended up selling that truck. I never got a title for it, and that was the issue. And I didn't want to go through the hassle of getting it retitled. But anyway, I made a nice little farm truck out of it. And the other problem was it wasn't the 5.2 speed. It was actually just a straight 4-speed. Anyway, this is my corn stand that year. This was a drought year. This was a pretty rough year. You can see how the corn is kind of wavy through the field here, and it's just starting to get the tassel, and we were in a pretty bad drought up until this point. So I was lucky that we made it through the year. Like I said, this was in my early days, no crop insurance, just kind of playing around here, getting my experience, I guess. But even with the drought, that field did pretty good. The last photo I have here is again of that Massey Ferguson 50 that I had. This is an example of one of my earlier restoration projects. You can see the new decals and the paint job. I never got the grill for it. This tractor was bad luck from the start when I got it. Everything seemed all right, and after it was restored, it wasn't until after it was restored that everything just went horribly wrong with it. This tractor actually, the engine blew up on me, and this nice looking tractor that was just about restored in this photo was sold as a parts tractor. So again, it all depends on what you want to put in the stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I want to thank everybody once again for the 1,000 subscribers. I'll try to do things different here or there, mix some slideshow of my farming operation at the other farm. So thanks for watching.